Welcome back. We now have a new executive producer who joined our team, Mamoun Hassan. Mamoun holds a Bachelor in Communication and Media Studies and is a graduate of film school. He has been working as a director, producer, and a cinematographer for more than 15 years. Join me now as I talk to Mamoun about Let the Quran Speak. Welcome to the show, Mamoun.
It's a pleasure to be on.
So it's been a pleasure working with you thus far as our new executive producer, but I also wanted to take the time to introduce you to our viewers. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So you know my name.
Yes, I do.
Yes. I'm a media professional, really. It's been almost all my life. I graduated of film school and a graduate of I studied media also in university after film school. I have been working in the media field for pretty much all of my life. That's as much as you can really get to know about me.
So when you say all your life, like when you say film school, so you finished high school and then you went to film school and then you did a degree in media?
Yeah. So honestly, my first film that I've ever made that actually went into a film festival was something that I made when I was 16 years old in 1996.
Oh, wow.
With a VHS camera. Yeah.
Nice.
So that was in high school. And then after that, at that time, I used to work for a local TV station as just like a small producer for certain things. And then film school afterwards for 3 years at Niagara College, the greatest film school I've ever. And then I've worked for a couple of years producing music videos. I did a couple of documentaries. I was involved in the production of a couple of also dramatic films. And then I went back to school again for media, audience analysis, and media studies.
Okay, so you said something in there which I'm sure some of our Muslim viewers are going to be like, what? So you mentioned music videos. So tell me a little bit, so were you always into, I guess your journey into the Muslim media field, did it start like that, or how did that journey evolve? Yeah.
So I wasn't always a practicing Muslim. I was born a Muslim. At a time in my life, I wasn't very practicing. I wasn't practicing at all, and but things kind of came back for me. I remember in the 2001, 2002, after September 11th is when I really started to kind of look into Islam as a religion. But I wasn't looking from a spiritual perspective. I was actually looking from like a philosophical perspective.
Like research based?
Yeah, I actually wanted to know why the people did what they did in September 11th. What would drive them to do that? And
at that time, you weren't practicing?
Not at all. I actually didn't believe in religion at all, like no religion, period. But then I spoke to a couple of imams at that time, and I wanted to read up on some of the how can people misinterpret some of the stuff that these people are misinterpreting. And I remember I spoke to a sheikh. I don't want to mention really the names. I shouldn't.
That's fine. Yeah.
But he said to me, you know, go ahead and read about Islam and stuff. But at that time, I don't know if you recall or not, but like 2001, there weren't any like books on Islam in English, right? And I didn't speak Arabic.
Yeah.
So what I had to do is I had to actually go on this like journey of like learning Arabic. I went and traveled to Sudan to learn a little bit of Arabic. I can understand Arabic. I couldn't read or write.
And sorry, at this point you were done. You were done school.
I was done film school. Yeah, I was done film school.
And you were working.
I was working. I was. I owned a production house at that time where we used to do music videos and documentaries. So I was a cinematographer. So independently, I've been doing that. And then I started to believe, you know, I guess really when you read about Islam, I started to believe, and a couple of personal things happened in my life that just kind of really drove me into it completely. And then I had returned, and when I came back, I just couldn't work in the media that I was in anymore.
So what do you mean? Why couldn't you work in that area? Break it down a little bit for us.
There's a lot of things that you can't do in media, like as long as you know.
You mean as a Muslim? Yeah,
as much as you think you're a creative person, you're still not very creative. Like things still fit within a format. I used to do music videos, for instance, and at that time I used to do it for a couple of Toronto artists. And I remember I had already signed at that time. I had a contract with a production house. A record house that I had to do 3 music videos in a row, and I had already wrote all these concepts for them. And when I came back and they said okay for them, and when I came back I was like, well, I can't have girls, I can't have alcohol in them, I can't have all of these things.
Yeah.
And they were like, well, we agreed and we paid you the money and you spent the money kind of thing. So I was stuck. I was really stuck. I remember I had to pay a penalty at that time for breaking the contract, but I just couldn't find any work. And you know, I just basically, that was it. I was kind of stuck at that time, honestly. But then what I did is I actually traveled to Sudan again after that, and there I just worked for. I worked as a media consultant and marketing and internal communications for a telecom company, but I was still responsible for the video production and stuff like that. So it was very corporate.
So you were still within the field, but more in a corporate setting.
Yeah, more in a corporate setting. Yeah.
And then how did you transition? So I know when Ilyas had mentioned that you were going to be the new executive producer, I did a bit of research, and I know you've done quite a bit of work in the Muslim community. So how did you transition from the corporate world of media into, okay, now I'm going to do this for the Muslim community?
Well, when I came back from Sudan, I just didn't know where to work in. I guess really is the case. And then I think a couple of mosques assumed that I had the qualifications to be an imam at that time. I had been studying for a couple of years by then, and I was recruited to be an imam for a mosque.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so it was really good. But throughout these 5 years of being an imam, I was able to actually connect with a lot of personalities. Muslims have always thought that media was important. They just didn't know how
to translate.
Yeah, they didn't really know how to use it, and there was a lot of technical issues that were happening. People just thought media is just you place a camera and you talk into it, and that's what it is. But it really isn't. There's a lot of thought process that should go into it. So, as I spoke to a lot of people, I guess they realized I knew what I was talking about a little bit, and I was just recruited to do some certain things for them. I thought it was really important, I guess, at that time to create culture, Muslim culture, so people can see us in an appropriate light or in a positive light. For me, so what I would do is I would just used to ask people who want to do anything, you want to do something, you want to do something, and then it just worked out for me in that sense, yeah.
So how did you hear about the TV show? Because I remember running into you at IIT, another mosque, and I remember you were videoing or filming a class. And then later when I connected the dots, I was like, oh, this is the person who was actually filming. So I know, and we spoke offline, and you said you did a lot of independent work. So how did you hear about the TV show, and how did you make the transition? So
this is interesting, because when I came back from Sudan, the first time, I remember I was looking for some sort of work in the media in Canada. And
how long ago is this?
This is, I feel old when I say these numbers.
That's okay.
This is like, I think 2003, 2004.
Okay.
And when I had come back, I was looking for some sort of, and at that time traditional TV was still on. Like you still watch TV on TV, if you believe it or not. And I saw the show a couple times. My father used to watch the show. He still does. And then I sent an email. I said, well, I want to volunteer.
To Dr. Shabir?
Yeah, I think, I don't know who it was, but he was just to the show in general, and I got no response.
Okay.
And I said, how typical of Muslims. But we should edit that out. But I said, I was really actually kind of weirded out about it, and I thought maybe they weren't here, maybe they didn't have, the structure really to kind of
take on more people,
or anything as such. I honestly thought about it very positively, but then I didn't really worry about it that much. So that was the first time I actually was in contact with the show. But I always saw it as a really positive show. I like Dr. Shabir Ali a lot. I used to watch his debates.
Nice.
I used to really like what he does to the people he debated with. So I was a fan for sure at that time.
And then how did you come out? Did someone send you so you just came across the posting and you were like, okay, I'm just gonna apply?
So the posting, it was, I think the last day the posting was on, I think someone said to me, like, have you heard about this? And up to that time, honestly, interestingly enough, I never had a resume. I was always recruited for a lot of work. I think I was always recruited for work since like 2002.
I guess because your name is known as well and people know that you do this work, right?
Yeah, because the kind of work that we do is not something that you want to really ask for people's resumes. It's short term.
Word of mouth. And
it's also short term. Like, I want you to do a video clip for me. Abuna Muhammad, for instance, would contact me and say, hey, listen, I want to do a video for a poetry that I have, right? And he's seen the kind of work work that I do, and we just go on set and we do it, and it's done, and we move on. You know, another group would come on and would move on. I was contracted, for instance, in Saudi Arabia for about a year to produce short television programming for English-speaking channels, and that was like
nice.
a 12 months project. So these things, you don't really need any resumes. People just kind of know you. Okay, this is the guy. He's the only guy there, and that helps a lot, right? Like, I'm not the best, but I'm one of the few. I think.
Definitely.
So that works. And yeah, and yes, people kind of get me on, right? I didn't honestly think I was going to get the job, to be very frank. I thought it'd be really a fierce competition, but I'm glad I did.
Well, I know I'm definitely glad you did. Not that I wanted Ilyas to go, but you know, definitely, I think you bring a lot of expertise and new ideas. What are you hoping for the TV show? Like, where do you see it going?
So there's a lot of things that I'm thinking about. I don't really
give me your top.
Yeah, I don't really want to spill all my beans. I don't want to tell everybody everything. So I think a couple of things that we really have to work on is the format of the actual show itself. The in studio format, for instance, is something that really works for detailed, deep, in-depth conversations, right? And that works for that. But the truth of the matter is that not a lot of stuff is like that nowadays, and we end up missing a lot of really interesting things that are happening. So I do want to change it into more of a I don't really want to tell. I don't know why. I just kind of want to develop it well enough to be able to kind of speak about it.
We'll leave it as a surprise for our viewers.
Yeah, we will actually have a show that will talk about the new format once we actually have it. I do want to go through a consultation process first of all with the team that are involved in it first of all before I say anything.
I think that's a good cliffhanger to leave for our viewers. So it's been a pleasure working with you, and I look forward to the new things you bring to the show. So thank you so much, Mamoun.
Thank you, Aisha.
Hey YouTube, we hope you benefited from this video. If you liked it, or if you didn't, let us know in the comments below. And if you're interested in learning more, check out some of our other videos. And don't forget to subscribe so you can get new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.